Greetings and welcome to Connecting with Intent Show. I'm your host Muhammad Awais. On this episode, we have a very special guest. He is the CEO and founder of Whiteboards and Whiskey, Michael Rager. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Michael Rager. Michael, welcome.
Welcome. Hey, thanks for.
Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
Uh, you know, when I started my business, I started it because I had gotten taken advantage of a business before. I had a really good partner. We built a nice company and we sold it, and he made a lot more money out of that sale than I did. And I ended up getting a nice job out of it. And that's not what I was looking for. I was looking to grow and take myself to the next level. So I went around and figured out, how do I make this not happen again? And I reached out. I had some mentors. I've got a guy, Alex Howard, here in Houston, a good friend of mine, Don Matlock. And when I was younger, these two, really helped me understand what it takes to run a business and look at it and make it be successful. I also started working with John Maxwell. He's kind of one of those world-renowned leadership experts, and was able to really buy into the thing that John and the people that surrounded him. Um, Paul Martinelli, a friend of mine, was really able to help me and get focused on what I was doing today, because what we do today is help business owners grow better businesses, and that's what it's all about.
What is your higher purpose in life?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I look at that as, I think I really try to, number one is be a good dad. I think one of the best things that's ever happened in my life is my son Cameron. So, being a good dad to him and being an inspiration in what I do, I really want him to have the ability to and desire to, when he talks to his friends, and say, "Yeah, that's my dad," and I'm proud of it. And so that's my purpose. I think it's just all over being a good person and being out there to help people. That's what I really like to do, is just help people.
What have been top three greatest challenges that you have had to overcome?
Man, um, one was kind of getting out of my own family's way. My family's great. A lot of great people. Um, I come from Michigan over in the United States, and if you may know about Michigan, it's kind of like the car capital of the world, and everybody was into labor. They're great at it. Electricians, they're great using their hands. Not me. I didn't want to do that, so I had to overcome their desire to push me into where they wanted me to go and go follow my directions. The second thing I had to get over was I had a very strong mom, and she really pushed me hard. And when I was younger in life, I really had a lot of resentment towards strong, powerful women, and I probably wasn't the nicest, friendliest guy to them. So I think that'd be number two. Number three is procrastination. I deal with it all the time. It's like, it seems like there's always something better to do than what you should be doing. So I think those are the three things that I really had to overcome myself.
What is your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
My greatest failure. My greatest failure was, we were buying another company. We were buying a company from another country, and it didn't go the way we wanted. And we had invested almost six figures into the deal, and at the last minute, the people that were looking to fund us on the back end pulled out of the deal, and it really hurt. We broke some relationships that we had, and it was there, and it was what I learned was, I think before you get in those big deals, is you got to have all your ducks in a row before you get there. I took some advice from some people. I probably jumped in a little bit too fast. I probably spent a little bit. I spent some money too fast that I shouldn't. And recovering from it, we started the whole process in 2016, and during the pandemic, we just bankrupted it. We just, hey, that's it. It's done. It's over. It was. I'm a person that likes to pay my debts, and it made me feel. It was a really weird feeling saying I didn't have to pay this anymore and just walking away from it. But it was really taking the advice of my lawyers and listening to them, and so it was able to help us really wipe the slate clean, get out of a little bit of underneath a little money hole where I think all entrepreneurs get into every once in a while. We get in over our head, and just get back and start moving, and learn from what we did and don't make the same mistake twice.
What is the most impactful book you have read and what did you learn from it?
Sure. The one that is really impacted me a lot is a guy named Brendan Burchard wrote something called the Motivation Manifesto. It's really weird. It's not a very thick book. I've been sitting with it, and it's probably 4 years since I started reading it. I'm still not done because I just get into it and I start implementing what he talks about. So it's really what it does is it has you as a person really look at yourself, look at how you think, why you think, what do you do, what makes you make decisions the way you make them. And part of it I learned, and I started doing some stuff on my in my coaching business. We called it the three-headed demon. It's doubt, um, doubt, defiance, and delay. And we notice that whenever we start to fail, it's one of those three things that are happening. I either doubt myself. I, I mentioned earlier I procrastinate, so I'm delaying and making my decisions, or I'm defiant. I just don't really want to listen to somebody, and that's what happens. And we find out that 90% of the time when business owners are struggling and things are not moving right, it's one of those three things that's keeping them back. And we help them wipe that demon out and start moving forward. Because the thing that happens, Muhammad, is even though we'll wipe that demon out, it'll kind of come back much stronger. The other ones will start pushing at us and be much stronger to try to keep us down. I think because the biggest demon we fight is in our head, and it's self talk and stuff like that. And we really got to get out of our own way. So that's pretty much what I learned from that book.
What are your goals for the next 12 months?
Well, like you said, I'm the CEO of Whiteboards and Whiskey. I've got a partner over in Australia, Chris Beard. We've taken the Whiteboards and Whiskey model along with his accountable boardroom, and we've meshed them together, and we're franchising that out right now across the United States. We're getting ready to start franchising across Australia and the UK. And essentially, what we've done is we put together a business model for business coaches that is kind of a high end client attractor. And then we have the ability to attract people. We have ability to highlight how that coach interacts with people, and then through the accountable boardroom, we have the systems, the processes, and we have a software called Tab Focus, where we can go help our business owners hit the goals that they want to hit. And we're really looking within the next 12 months to have our first 25 franchisees on board and be operating in several states here in the US and at least two countries.
What advice you will give to younger yourself?
Learn about business earlier. When I went to college, I really didn't take any business classes. I really wish I would have. Hindsight being 2020, I was you see my one company is called Teach Your Business to Fish. That's because I was a fish biologist. I was a scientist, and I ended up getting into the oil and gas industry. And that's where we built that one company that I got to, and that helped move me to Texas. But I really wish I would have learned, one, how to get along with people better, how to build relationships better. I'm pretty good at building relationships better now. Two is having a plan for really what I want to do, and three is working on my communication and leadership skills. I've got a 13-year-old son that I mentioned earlier, and those are the things he and I work on all the time because I don't want him to be where I am coming up on 60 going, hey, I wish I'd have done that.
How can we support you?
It's Yeah, yeah. How can you support me? I appreciate you inviting me on this podcast. I appreciate you reaching out and wanting to get to know me. I think just sharing the information. We do a lot of good things for people, especially people that are looking to grow businesses that have never grown them before. That's where we specialize in. We're fairly good with startups, but we really like that company that's been in business for a couple of years. They've got some things going and they're struggling. So, just helping us get the word around of what we're trying to build here. So I really appreciate that, Mohammed.
What would you say about your guest appearance on the show?
It's been great. It was very easy. You were very polite when you reached out. Compared to most people on LinkedIn, they're awful. They're trying to sell you. You weren't. You were here trying to give away. You came to this process about how can I help you. It was amazing, and I really appreciate that. You sent me the questions ahead of time. I was able to kind of look at them and think through them a little bit. Although I'm pretty good at thinking on my feet. So I run a radio show here in Houston, or here in the United States. So it's thinking on my feet is something I have to do. You made it easy to connect. You made it easy to get on, collect. So I'm going to say, Mohammed, the one thing you did is you just made this whole experience easy. And I really appreciate you doing that.
Thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate you for this. What closing thoughts would you like to share with our listeners?
Sure. I think, number one is you got to believe in yourself. No matter what you say. I'm gonna take it. You're from the Southeast Asia area. I've got a client of mine, a really good friend of mine, and he's worth about $70 million. So he's done very very well over here in the United States, and he's from India. And his parents don't recognize his success because he's not a doctor or an engineer, and he's just there trying to please his parents. And he goes, but the one thing he told me is I had to sit back and I had to please myself. No matter what my parents pushed to me, no matter what they wanted, no matter what tradition, I wasn't happy. I wasn't going to go do it. Go be happy. It's your life. Go out there and do what you want to do, but be happy and make other people that you come in contact with in the world happy. There's no reason to get divisive. We all live on this big blue planet, and we all need to be friends. We need to be happy. Let's quit being ticked off at each other over little things, and just go around the world and make friends. And I really appreciate you reaching out and trying to do that with me.
Thank you so much, Michael, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Connecting with the Intent community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Awais. Until the next episode, all good wishes.